you want to know why we have the problems we do today, especially in the video game industry, and why all of these people are losing their jobs? Video game journalists. Because this is what video game journalism is about right here. Helldivers 2 Next Warbond will let you look even more fascist than normal. Adds a literal sword. Like, is this supposed to be a joke? Like, it's a look? Like I get that, you know, if you style yourself as a journalist, you're going to want to make things that are professional, unless you're, you know, some kind of fucking, oh, I don't know, super subversive, like, commie fuckstick. Anyway. I second Pirate Nation in the literal, what the fuck is going on with this? Why? It's a joke about it. It's a joke, but editorialism like this, it's a look. Yes. My point is my whole point on that is that they're all mad that they're losing their jobs. They're all mad about these things, but they've been using all this subversive nonsense to push all kinds of fucking bullshit. It's one of the reasons why it's one of the reasons why I, especially in my last, few weeks, I've pushed back against this whole we live in fucking Nazi Germany shit, when we live in the most progressive and times in our history, right? Like, do we have issues? Of course we do. But this ain't it. And this is one of the things that this kind of shit really pushes a lot of people away, because if this were like all in good fun and they were making fun of everybody and literally called everybody a fascist, it would be different, right? I could totally see how you could make a headline around this and it'd be funny. Like it was in The Onion, or it was in the Daily, not the Daily Beat, the Babylon Bee, where they're poking fun at, because are they kind of space fascist? Yes, they are. Not really, but sort of. Because the fact about it, the one of the things that really bothers me about all of this is that no one who uses the word fascist uses it correctly. Period. And so, like, almost nobody who uses this word anymore knows what the fuck it means. Is it this one? No. That's Cheeto face. Like this. Would you have fought the Nazis? Now's your chance. Why? Because this. Like, it really does feel like these people have been so antagonistic toward everyone, and racist and sexist and all the ists that they claim that our society is, simply to create a backlash that would, because they know they will create reactionaries, right? This is a thing that fucking communism does. This is why they have to put the reactionaries down, right? The what is it? The anti-revolutionaries. Yeah, there you go. And it's not like I think it was some, like, smoky, some big play made by cigar smoking idiots in some fucking room, right? It's not like that. It's that this is was it Rules for Radicals? This was part of the subversion technique that they use. And I don't think this bitch knows what the fuck any of that shit is. She's just following along with the fucking crowd. And this is what it does, is it takes a portion of our civilization and completely converts them against us. It's not just the lumpenproles, the lumpen proletariat that we've talked about here on the channel, that are the criminals and the beggars and the whores. It's not just those guys, right? That they're using to subvert our civilization now. They're just mass brainwashing as many people as will listen to their shit, so that they can completely subvert their worldview, where you believe that good is evil and evil is good and all the other stupid shit. Like, it's really fucking hard to see it at first. And it's basically, since I've been paying attention to all this stupid shit since like 2012 with, gamers are dead and basically making it out that all gamers are racist and all this other stuff. Since that started happening in like 2012, since I've been paying attention, it really does feel that that's what they're doing. That they're trying to get. It's twofold. It's like they got these fucking baity ass content sites that allow people to. I streamed today and shut off my library. Nice. Everyone should realize Helldivers is meant to be a parody. Like, no one in 40K are the good guys. Yeah, exactly. But the thing about it is that no one in 40K are the good guys. But in the 40K universe, humanity are the good guys. As bad as they are the good guys. Right? In their universe. But outside of it, they're not. It's just like in Helldivers. It's different in Helldivers because there's not literal hell that is trying to extinguish human life, right? Right? It's what, 3 other alien factions, and humans just happens to be a expansionist empire in the void, just like any other. But in 40K, that's different, right? Because there's literal hell, literal demons. Right? The gods of chaos want to completely and utterly destroy and consume humanity. So you can't say that the Imperium is good. That's not true. The Imperium is the only thing keeping humanity alive in the 40K universe, because everything else wants to completely obliterate it. The Imperium crushes people beneath oppression and grinds them into meat for its war machine, but it is keeping humanity alive. Somewhat. 3 hours walking around town yesterday. That's probably why. Yeah, and we having the playing games is a Nazi pipeline. Yes, it is for the night. Something like that, yes. But this is more the fact that this has created an entire sector of our population that believes that all gamers are racist and Nazis, and that our society is racist and fucking patriarchal and fucking full of fascists and Nazis, and you gotta fucking, rise up and overthrow with the revolution to get rid of all the Nazis. And basically what that entails is culling about a quarter of our population into death camps after the communist revolution. Yeah, that would be what that entails. And so, like, this shit, the reason it really fucking is it's getting old and people are not buying it anymore, which is one of the good things. The problem is that you already have the cult that exists around this shit. The people that if they didn't have this to believe in, they believe some other stupid ass bullshit like flat earth. Or some other kind of conspiracy nonsense, like fucking, what is it? UFO abductions and shit like that, right? Where it's just like some of the most off the wall shit you could possibly imagine. These are the people that they're getting a hold of, and especially when you've basically filtered out everything else that's not what you would like. So imagine you're one of these people. You never see anything that I'm gonna say. You never see anything that any of you are going to say. You're only going to see the kind of shit that these people say. And every day, all day, you're shown all of these fascists and Nazis that exist in your world. Like, imagine the kind of fucking craziness that would drive you to. The madness it would put into your brain. Yeah, or maybe you just need to do something else, like use some like baby powder in your socks or something. Yeah. And so this is and then you have the issue of almost nobody who uses the word fascist to describe anybody actually uses fascism correctly. Just like there's an actual distinction between fascism and Nazism. They are cousins, just like the distant cousin of fucking communism is fascism itself. They're both progressive socialist ideals born of the socialist mindset that was created by Karl Marx, where what was it? It's to each person get what they need. Fuck, I can't remember what the quote is. Like, it's literally in blanking at the moment. I'll remember it at some point. And I don't want to look it up because it's going to take me forever to fucking find it. Anyway, but basically everybody who needs something gets it, and those who can contribute should contribute. And so they're all just the same fucking different takes on the same, like, it's like fascism, communism, and Nazism, to me, are like different sects of a religion, basically. So you have Catholicism and Christianity, but then you have Protestantism, which has delineated into all kinds of crazy shit. And this is essentially what you have with the socialist fucking religion around this bullshit, right? Is that communism, fascism, Nazism, they're all fucking cousins of one another. They all have the same basic ideology, but it's taken in different ways. To the fascists, the fucking state is God and everyone must submit to it. To the Nazis, it's basically the same thing, except, you know, no Jews and no blacks and stay in your own fucking countries, right? Yeah. Oh, and Nazi has to rule the world, right? Nazi Germany has to rule the world. So there you go. Fascism is orthodox Nazism. I'll take you on that. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Yeah. And communism is ultra progressive, ultra progressive fascism. With the side of what was it? With a side of maniacal dictator. Yeah. And the reason is because it's based on this, and it's just like most ideology. Just like it's like this. Even liberalism is based on a false story, but it's a useful fiction in and of itself. Where if you were alone in the woods, what rights would you have? As a singular entity, what rights do you have? And this is where the useful fiction comes in, because no man is ever alone. No human is ever alone. This is not a thing that humans are. We are social creatures. We always have existed in tribes. We always have our tribes, and and if you don't have a tribe, you're usually going to have a short, shitty life, because you have nobody else to support you and do all the things around you that are required to uplift you. And it's only in our more modern day that we're allowed to completely isolate ourselves from everybody else, and we can still somewhat function properly. The problem is that the social cues that people around you use to keep you in check are the same kind of social cues that these people use to keep people in their social realm in check. And so this is why they do purity spirals. And this is one of the reasons why this shit is going by the wayside. They basically excommunicated everybody they can, and there's no path to redemption. You just said we are social creatures. That I ain't into socialism. Some ideas they have. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you. I love pancakes. That means I hate waffles. Yes, that's true. No, but we are social creatures. So the liberal fiction, so the useful fiction of the basic story behind liberalism about you being a singular creature and the rights you would have in that space are. It's the reason it's useful is because it allows us to perform a hypothetical so that we can dial down exactly what our rights are, where the limits are, right, and how we navigate dealing with other people with the rights that we have if we were an isolated individual. The fiction part is the fact that you were isolated. So we've always been part of tribes. And we need social interaction to function. Right? Unless you're an autistic retard like me, who literally likes being alone more than anything else, with the exception of with my wife and kids, funnily enough. But the vast majority of humanity requires a lot of social interaction on a daily basis. And this is one of the biggest contributors to like loneliness and a lot of mental health issues, is not getting enough physical attention, is not getting enough social interaction with not just your own close circle, but random people out in the world, plus like affection, right? This is one of the reasons why families are so great, is because what they give you is fucking affection. Like, it is the highlight of my day when my son wakes up and I go in there and I sing him his good morning song and he walks up to me and like hugs me around the neck, right? It is positively makes my fucking day every fucking time. You know, I highly recommend it. That's all I got to say. But it requires a lot of sacrifice and responsibility. And to get back to the entire point of this is nobody's using fascism correctly, because fascism describes a very specific ideology. It describes a very specific time and place where this ideology took place. Like even modern people who call themselves fascists, I don't even think they're actually fascists. I think they're just authoritarians, and they use fascist as a marker for authoritarian, where they want the state to be God. But the problem is that fascist is also an economic system. So you have to set the government up correctly, where all corporations are essentially run by the state, de facto, with the exception of that all the corporations are actually owned by individuals. So it's more like modern day China, where you have these very rich billionaires, or, you know, people who own property, people who own these businesses, and they get to do free market capitalism so long as they bend the knee to the party. And so as long as they're pushing the party line, and they, you know, flood the party with money, then they and are part of the party, then they can do business, right? And that was the same way that it was in fascist Italy and in Nazi Germany, is that you could privately own a business, but you had to bend the knee to the party, right? Schindler's List is a movie specifically about a dude who was in the fucking Nazi party and realized what they were doing and tried to fucking fix it. And he was allowed to continue doing business because he was part of the Nazi party, right? He used his party connections to actually not only get more business, but expand his businesses and use, you know, the Jews as slave labor and all the other shit. It's kind of that's pretty much it is. Everything within the state, nothing outside the state. Yeah, basically. Everything that goes on within the society is purview of the state. That includes everything in your personal life. Who you marry, how you raise your children, where they go to school, what they're taught, basically just about everything. Even your own personal thoughts are not considered sacred by them. The state is sacred. And so you have to have entire apparatuses inside the government to manage these things. And the original, I believe the fascists, the way they used corporation was not the way we use corporations. Their corporation was to be incorporated was also, you had to have a representative in the government that represented the sector of business that you were part of. And then you have all the business representatives from there that would report to that individual. So, are Helldivers 2 fascists? Most likely. But probably not. It doesn't matter. The point is that, is it making fun of fascism? Yes, it is. That is the point. And that is explicitly the point of the writers and the people who came up with all this bullshit, right? It's different than like Starship Troopers say, because in Starship Troopers, Heinlein wrote a liberal, essentially what Starship Troopers, the book, is essentially what would happen if you took liberalism to its logical conclusion. And you can see through the cracks in the movie that the people who wrote the fucking movie and who claim to have read the book don't fucking understand what they're talking about. Because they're trying to make everything fascist in the movie, and then they're literally talking about like libertarian ideals of you get to make choices. You're a person, you get to make choices. Fascists don't think you're a fucking person. Fascists think you're a slave to the state. You don't get a choice. You don't get to choose to serve in the military if you're in a fascist state. That's not how any of that works. And this is the reason why nobody knows what a fascist is because all the stuff that we've been exposed to that's supposedly fascist isn't really fascist, right? You can be badass. You can have guns and all kinds of crazy shit. You can even have authoritarian things in a liberal society. The military is one of the most authoritarian things that we have in our society, and it should be exactly the way it is. In fact, there should probably be more so. Because the more direct control you have over the military like that, the easier it is to operate, right? But you have a lot less freedom. But you join voluntarily. In a fascist state, you don't join the military voluntarily. That's not how that works. Now, you could say that military service isn't mandatory, but if you brainwash enough of the population that they'll join, you could make an argument for that. But again, in the fascist ideal, it's not a choice that you get to make. It's a choice that the state gets to make. The state gets to choose what's good for itself and the people in charge of the state, and then you have to bear the consequences of their decisions, rather than the other way around. Like, under that definition, France is fascist, the federal government for the whole country. Yeah. This is why it's just like, this is why nobody knows what it is. This is why they can literally call anything fascism, and the SEALs on their side will simply clap and cheer because they have no fucking clue what fascism is, because they watch Starship Troopers. And so fascist is when you're strong. It's when you're forthright. It's when it's when you use propaganda to bolster the morale of your people, which everybody would do. It's ridiculous. And again, just because the people who made Starship Troopers said it was supposed to be a making fun of fascists, the problem is that it fails to do so, because it can't critique you can't critique fascism with Starship Troopers unless you change what the Federation in Starship Troopers actually is. It's actually fucking ridiculously stupid that people even still today argue over this fucking fact. And it bothers the fucking hell out of me. I am missing a fucking window. Where the fuck did it go? I have no idea. Anyway. Oh, sorry about this, boys. Okay, so one of the reasons the reason I bring this up is multifaceted. I went on a fucking lot of tangents, but the biggest thing is that, one, these people don't know what fascism is, because they and not only do they not know what fascism is, they literally want to give fascism all the good shit. Like, Nazis already got the swastika. Okay, all right. They get to claim the fucking Roman fasci symbol, or whatever the fuck it is, the basis for the authoritarianness. They already get all that cool shit. Okay? Can we just stop giving them cool shit? Can we reclaim that? And this is why they give them swords. This is why they give them cool shit, is so that when you, a nerd, are playing with swords, they can call you a fucking fascist. This is what the tool of it is used for. This is why they do it. Now, she may not be thinking that way, right? That may not be her thought process, but this is why. Is that if you associate anything that your enemy does with the bad word, then anytime anyone who does that thing, then you could associate them with that bad word. And if you put into the consciousness of your civilization that, oh, look, fascists look at swords, how many people will literally start believing that people who like swords are now fascists, right? It's that kind of deal. And you only need a few. The word tyrant used to be a value-neutral word, simply denoting a temporary wartime office. Because even way back when it was pragmatic to have an authoritarian leading the charge in unity. Oh, amazing barrel, dude. We all believe. Like, if you're a liberal, you do know that that there are times when rights must be suspended and power must be given to an authoritarian figure to handle an emergency. Like, almost every single liberal country is designed exactly this way. That this is why we have emergency powers, right? And why we're so scared of emergencies becoming permanent is because the president of the United States actually has the power to declare himself a dictator. He does. The emergency just has to be big enough. That's all it requires. And it has to require a big emergency. Like, it's just like I keep bringing up with Abraham Lincoln, right? Look at all the fucked up shit that he did that violates, like, not only the Constitution in and of itself, but like the spirit of freedom and democracy and republic that the United States stands for. All of his big speeches, you know, 20 years ago, and talking about the founding fathers, he could shove that shit up his ass when he's fucking literally arresting journalists who post things, who print newspapers that he doesn't like, arrest politicians so they can't vote in Congress, both, you know, federal and state. So we all know that there are times when such measures must be made, and anybody who says otherwise is fucking either lying or absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid, because the difference between true authoritarian countries and liberal countries is that when the emergency is over, the authoritarian dictator gives their power back. That's how it's supposed to work, right? Ukraine is under martial fucking law. They can't even have elections. When the war is over, Zelensky will give his power back, or at least he should, in theory. Just like in every other European country, during times of war, I'm to understand that almost all of them declare martial law, making the person who's in charge of the government essentially a fucking dictator until the emergency is over. We know this. It's always been a thing. And this is one of the biggest pushbacks that I have for all the people screaming about Trump violating all the fucking stupid shit, when one, he's not violating as much as they say he is, and two, is it time yet or is it not? Are we at a crossroads or are we not? Because that's what they're saying. That's what a large portion of the country is saying. If you watch Asmongold stream and you listen to the shit that goes on in his fucking chat, they are almost all in agreement. They understand that some rules might get broken, but this needs to happen. So I want you to, so that's the problem, is that there is another portion of the population who have reacted to mass immigration over decades, and all the stupid shit with past administrations making promises and nobody fucking doing anything about it. They have all been reactionary into being like, no, fuck it, I want it done. Because for so long there's been so much bureaucracy, there's been so much bullshit between both parties where they just won't fucking do anything about it, that now everybody's like, I don't care if the rules get broken, I want it done. And so, have we not created our own situation that we exist in? The very thing that they say they're fighting against, that they've created with their own policies. It's crazy.